The Land of Lincoln Honor Flights preparing for their next flight coming up next week. And joining us in studio is Steve Wheeler. He is one of the organizers of the Land of Lincoln Honor Flights, but we're also joined on the phone by Philip Helt from Decatur, who is a Vietnam-era veteran. And I want to welcome them both here on the air. Good morning, Steve. How you doing in studio?
Morning, Greg. Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you, absolutely. And Philip, are you with us?
I'm all ears.
All right, fantastic. All ears, he says. So, Steve, go ahead and give us the rundown here. We'll talk with Philip about the importance of the honor flights as a Vietnam-era vet. But what do you got coming up April 4th?
Well, we start our flight season next week on the 4th of April. We're going to have a Flight 65 going out of Springfield Airport early. And this is going to be the first of 6 flights that are scheduled here for the 23 flight season. And we're pumped and ready to go for this flight.
So this obviously is a extremely important flight. If people aren't familiar with what the honor flight is, Steve, kind of gives that that general overview.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we fly our most senior veterans, World War II, Korean, and Vietnam vets, to Washington, D.C. so they can visit the memorials and the monuments that were built for what they did. Okay, a lot of them don't have the opportunity to do this. We're giving them that, and that is all free of charge. So we started the organization back in 2009. We have flown over 5,100 vets to D.C. at this point, and we got a lot more to go. We've got 450 plus Vietnam vets mainly on our wait list, and we're going to fly till we get to get everyone served.
And people can find more information about the Lincoln Land of Lincoln Honor Flights at landoflincolnhonorflights.org, landoflincolnhonorflight.org, and you can find out their schedule as well. But obviously, this is an extremely important event every year, seeing plane load after plane load after plane load take these veterans to see the monuments that are there in their honor in Washington, D.C. Steve, this is not cheap. This is something that you guys need fundraising for.
Yeah, and we all of our fundraising and donations are private. There's no public monies whatsoever, no grants, nothing like that. It's all the communities shelling out and supporting us financially and making these trips happen. Our flight costs are skyrocketing this year. Our flight costs this year are in the area of $98,000 per flight. It's incredible how much they have gone up here in the last couple of years, especially this past year. We need that kind of support. We need people at the airport when we arrive back from our flights for the welcome home ceremonies. We need to pack that airport here Tuesday night and really show these veterans how much their efforts and their sacrifices have meant to them and their country.
So again, it's not just about people showing up to support. 9:30 is when they'll arrive back Tuesday, April 4th. Get there about 8 o'clock so you can get a good parking spot and get in place to welcome these veterans back. But they also need that financial support.
Absolutely.
So make that happen. You can find out more again, landoflincolnhonorflights.org. Let's now talk with Philip Helt. He's a Vietnam-era veteran. Philip, tell us about what this flight means to you and some of your colleagues that fought in this in that conflict.
Oh, I tell you, it's a lifetime experience.
So when it comes to your service, Philip, give us an overview of where you found yourself in combat, some of the accolades that you received.
Well, let's see. I served in 68 and 69. I was in artillery over in Vietnam. I went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then from there I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and that's where we trained in artillery. And then I was transferred to Fort Lewis, Washington, for about 6 months there in 155 millimeter howitzer training. And then from there, our whole unit got shipped to Vietnam. We went in July of 67.
What was that like in that time when you were, called to service? After, of course, I'm sure reading headlines, and then did you know what you were getting into? Did you and your colleagues know what you were getting into when you were called to serve in Vietnam?
Well, we pretty well, the whole country I was drafted. In fact, we found out like 2 weeks before I had to leave to go to Vietnam, or not Vietnam, but into the military, that my wife was pregnant with our first child. So anyway, you don't have a choice, and you do what your country requires of you. And we knew that we were pretty well, all of us were headed for Vietnam. And then, of course, when we got through with our training out in Fort Lewis, then we got shipped to Vietnam.
We're talking with Philip Helt. He's a U.S. Army Vietnam-era veteran, served in Vietnam. He was in Oklahoma, Washington, as well as in E5 with artillery. He's got some of the accolades that he's received: the Bronze Star, National Defense Marksman, Army Commendation, Good Conduct. Obviously, this is something that is very much part of your life. Talk about what it's like to be with others that may not have served with you shoulder to shoulder in Vietnam, but served with you in uniform, not just in Vietnam, but elsewhere throughout recent military excursions from the United States. What are these honor flights like for you and others?
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to bring back a lot of memories. But the relationships that you get in the service are lifetime commitments. You're all on the same level. It's just a great honor to have served our country.
Well, we can't thank you enough, and we can actually at least thank you in person when you guys return from your honor flight coming up April 4th, and that'll be returning back to the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport. Steve Wheeler here, one of the organizers for the Land of Lincoln Honor Flights. Again, give us all the details people need to know.
Okay, first flight next week on the 4th. We'll be in, try to get to the airport early. We got to fill the place, guys. Get to the airport early. We're going to be in around that 9:30 area, and probably the welcome home ceremonies will start directly after that. So come on out, show them how much you appreciate them.
And I think it's extremely important as well that you get to the website, landoflincolnhonorflight.org, landoflincolnhonorflight.org, where you can find out how to donate, because they can't do this without your support. So get there and make that happen. I want to thank Steve Wheeler, but also I want to thank Philip Helt. Thank you both for being here today and telling us how important this is for the community. All right.
Thank you back, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News now at 8:18, and let's